Welcome to the Ironic News Report. I'm Juliana Forlano. Massive amounts of toxic hydrofracking fluid leaked into the floodwaters that engulfed the small town of Owego, New York. This went unreported in the news, probably because of all the safety precautions they took, like putting the tank right next to the high school. That's safe. Feel good about that. Locals report seeing a fleet of trucks from the hydrofrack giant Chesapeake Energy secretly entering roads that were officially closed from flooding. I wonder how they got clearance. What's in those trucks anyway? ShamWows? Hope so. What exactly is hydraulic fracturing? Where can we find out? Oh look! An informational video produced by the gas industry. This will no doubt be a great source of completely unbiased information.
Hydraulic fracturing is a time-tested, proven technology.
Then it must be safe.
A drilling rig is assembled and inspected in accordance with the required safety and environmental standards.
Are those the same standards you've been lobbying to dismantle? Wow. That looks like a penis.
Only once we are satisfied that all the required standards have been met can drilling begin.
Oh yes, the required standards. I'm sure there are very strict required standards.
It was the Bush-Cheney Energy Task Force that gathered the industry together to decide what America's energy policy was going to be over the next decade or so. And in that policy was written in an exemption now known as the Halliburton loophole, which exempts frac drilling operations from the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, the Superfund law.
So you're following all the required standards, which is easy to do, since there aren't any? Nice work. Good spin. Back to the BS clip. I mean informational video.
When the well is drilled, multiple layers of cement and steel casing are inserted to create an impermeable barrier between the well and the groundwater.
Did you say groundwater? The one we rely upon for life?
Multiple layers of cement and steel casing are inserted to create an impermeable barrier.
Impermeable to everything except like an earthquake or some rust.
The well is drilled vertically until it nears the shale zone. Just prior to the shale zone, the well turns and horizontal drilling begins.
And it goes right under your house, your neighbor's house, and that farm where they grow your food.
After another cement casing is put in place to ensure maximum system integrity.
Well, maximum system integrity does sound secure.
A perforating device is inserted to create small holes in the casing.
What?
A perforating device is inserted to create small holes in the casing.
Small holes?
And the rock.
The rock?
Then, fluids comprised predominantly of water and sand.
Water and sand? That sounds clean, harmless, like a lie.
Water and sand are pumped down into the wellbore.
You forgot to mention the toxins. I'm sure it was just an oversight. Like diesel fuel and the highly toxic benzene and the rest of these carcinogens here. Yeah, you forgot to mention those.
Water and sand are pumped down into the wellbore, creating tiny hairline fractures.
You pump it with enough force to break up million-year-old rock, 1.5 miles underground, but the cement casing is strong enough to withstand any leaks. That's what you're saying, right? Are you sure that's safe?
Gas trapped in the shale zone is released within the tiny hairline fractures and safely brought up the wellbore and to the surface.
And then you get the wastewater back up and clean it out, right?
America has vast amounts of natural gas.
Wait a minute, what? What about the toxic water?
America has vast amounts of natural gas.
Really? Really? You're not going to address what happens to the godzillion gallons of toxic water that you pump down there? You're not going to address that in the informational video. Even Halliburton says that up to 40% of the toxic water just stays in the ground. Like it's a good thing.
America has vast amounts of natural gas.
That water potentially contaminates the groundwater for years to come. It is the gift that keeps on giving you cancer.
America has vast amounts of natural gas.
Excuse me, according to the EPA, that's the Environmental Protection Agency, 10 out of 11 gas production areas are located within underground drinking water sources. That's within or partially within them. What do you have to say about that, corporate video.
America has vast amounts of natural gas, which can provide a cleaner burning source of energy for more than 100 years.
You got nothing. You got nothing. Maybe it isn't a big deal if we poison way down there. What could happen?
Whoa, Jesus Christ. What?
Oh, shizzle. We're not going to be able to drink that. Which is bad news for all sentient beings, but great news for the stockholders at Poland Spring. I am left with just the slightest bit of unease over this whole thing. Perhaps a company spokesperson with the right tone of voice could set my mind at ease.
There's a lot of discussion going on about the development of natural gas, whether it can be done safely and responsibly.
This guy looks trustworthy.
At ExxonMobil, we know the answer is yes.
Is that the same ExxonMobil responsible for this? Oh, yeah, maybe I don't trust that guy. Who else you got?
North America actually has one of the largest oil reserves in the world.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced. These images are really heartwarming, and the music is really calming. Do you have like a folksy guy with a kind of a folksy down-home kind of accent?
Well, the big question on everyone's mind today is, how are we going to continue to obtain the supplies of energy that we need while caring for the environment?
The environment, yeah.
It's critical to maintain our standard of living.
Your standard of living as an oil industry executive?
And to also lift the standard of living for the rest of the world.
So I guess you won't mind a lot of stringent environmental protections and regulations then, right? Because the rest of the world, for their standard of living, needs clean water and air and land. We're not as dumb as you think.